You said he talked about magic and... what? Domesticated zombies?
He talked about a group of people who don't get infected, even if they're bitten.
Well, delirious people will say anything.
He was holding this map when we brought him in.
Whoa. This looks like...
A way out of Haran. Crane, we're running out of antizin. We have to explore every possibility. We can't wait any longer.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. After covering the story of Dying Light 1, it's time we take a look at the events of the following DLC. The story takes place in 2016, or better said, shortly after the events of the first game. In this DLC, we're in for another adventure with Kyle Crane, and we're going to clear up a bunch of the mysteries you've had about the Heron virus. Let's jump into the story, but before we start, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us. Now, you're probably wondering, who the heck was that half-crazed guy mumbling nonsense at the start of the game? Well, turns out the runners have no idea either. No clue who he was or where he came from. To check if the one-eyed guy was telling the truth, Crane follows a map he had, heads into the sewers, and after following the pipes, to his surprise, actually makes it out of Heron. Looks like the guy was right, at least about that part. But what about the rest of what he said? I mean, seriously, people here immune to the Heron virus. You think the GRE and the Ministry of Defense would have looked into something like that for the sake of the rest of the world? Anyway, instead of standing around debating it, Crane decides to move on and check out some of these strange locals himself. After climbing rocks and dodging a ton of zombies, Crane makes it to a protected farm. Seeing healthy people there gives him hope, so he starts asking around why the locals aren't infected. Unfortunately, nobody answers. They basically just ignore him. Looks like they're not big fans of strangers. After a lot of convincing, Crane manages to get them to warm up to him a bit. Eventually, they all tell him to go see someone named Jazzer. Tired of being passed around like a hot potato, Crane heads to Jazzer's stable and finds a father and daughter arguing about something. The father, Jazzer, is the guy Crane's been looking for. The angry young woman is his daughter, Esge. Crane introduces himself, explains what the one-eyed man told him, and asks, "I heard people here are immune to the virus." "Is that true?" Jazzer just says, "Whoever told you that was lying. Grab some bread and go back to Heron. Nobody wants you here." Frustrated, Crane leaves the stable and tries to call Lena, but his radio won't connect. Just then, a man calls out to him. This guy immediately makes it clear he's not part of the farm crowd, talks a bit, and introduces himself. His name's Khan. Khan says, "You're from Heron. I bet you've run into one of my messed up friends recently." He's talking about that one-eyed man, whose name, apparently, was Kurt. Khan asks how Kurt's doing, and Crane tells him he's dead. Moving on, Crane asks Khan about the immunity thing, and Khan drops a bombshell. "Now that you mention it, I honestly can't remember any of the locals turning into zombies. They're part of some kind of cult, led by a woman they call the Mother. They paint the cult symbol everywhere, follow her rituals. I think they might even worship her." Crane's like, "Okay, but what's that got to do with not getting infected? Is it antizin or something else?" Khan doesn't answer directly and says, "Look, you need info, I need help, let's work together. You help me, I help you, and since Kurt's dead, I need a driver, but first, you're gonna need a buggy." After a bunch of talking, Khan gives Crane the nearest possible location for a dune buggy and sends him on his first mission. Crane follows the lead, fights off a bunch of bandits, grabs the buggy, and heads back to the stylish guy, only to find Khan's nowhere to be seen. After looking around the trailer, Crane steps inside and finds Esge. She says, "Looking for Khan. I think they finally told him to leave. They did what my father should have done a long time ago. See how peaceful things are now. You're here for the same reason Khan was, the same reason bandits keep bothering us." After venting a bit, Esge tells Crane he needs to earn the locals' trust. Otherwise, no one's going to help him. She says, "I'll help you, but one day you'll have to return the favor." She explains the water situation is bad. All the underground water is contaminated. Anyone trying to fix the problem has to go to the bandits' camp. A few farm folks went there to deal with it, but they never came back. She asks Crane to go there and take care of it, saying it'll win him some goodwill with the people. Following Esge's directions, Crane tracks the water pipes to the bandits' camp. After exchanging a few words with their loudmouth leader, Crane beats the crap out of him, and the fight kicks off. One by one, he takes out all those bastards and starts searching for the missing farmers. After looking around, he finds one of the three, the only survivor, and learns the others are dead. The survivor helps Crane fix the water issue, but while working on the system, one of the pipes bursts. Crane rushes to the main water valve and shuts it off to stop the leak. With the farm's water supply restored, Crane returns to Esge. She says, "Thanks, Kyle, what you did means a lot to the people here. Go talk to my father. I'm sure he's in a better mood now." Crane heads back to Jazzer and asks his question again. Andazin's running out in Heron. I'm looking for anything that can save my friends, whatever it is. Jazzer replies, that's right, stranger. We've been spared from the virus through our faith and devotion to the mother. Crane is taken aback and asks how he can meet this mother. Jazzer says, the mother is sacred. She only speaks to those known as the faceless. But maybe if you prove yourself useful to our people, they'll seek you out. And from this point on, Crane's chores begin. And I mean real chores. The guy ends up doing so much for the villagers. It's like he's the unofficial mayor of the place. After fixing the village's water, power, gas, and pretty much running half the public services, Crane finally makes it to the sun god's temple and walks straight into a bizarre scene. The villagers believe the mother has been blessed by the sun god and now uses her powers to help the followers of her cult, the so-called Children of the Sun. While Crane's still trying to wrap his head around all this, he spots the ever-mysterious Khan and asks what's going on. Khan responds with some cryptic nonsense about the mother and keeps playing his part. The masked folks around them are the faceless, the mother's acolytes, basically her attendants and close aides. As Crane's watching the ceremony, the acolytes suddenly douse him in this strange blue mist and then shove him into a pit full of zombies. And here's the crazy part, the zombies don't attack him. What's in that blue gas that makes the infected ignore him? Before he can figure it out, Crane hears the mother's voice. Kyle, hear me, accept me. You are a gift. Our destinies are bound together. Have faith in me as I have faith in you. The moment she finishes speaking, Crane passes out. When he wakes up, he's lying outside the temple. Soon after, the mother's followers contact him. We're glad we got to meet you. It's normal to feel disoriented. It's just the first time. You'll feel high for a few hours, that's all. The faceless also confirmed the zombies were real, and add, your body and soul are now cleansed. Your immunity will last as long as you stay on the right path, have faith in the mother, and continue what you've started. The answers you seek will come. Right after that, Crane calls Lena to tell her what happened. But thanks to the village's lousy comms, the line drops near the end of the conversation, and he's back to running more errands. After clearing out some volatile nests and doing more work for Jazzer and Ezge, one of the mother's aides send him on an important mission. Something strange needs investigating. Crane heads to the location and finds a wrecked vehicle. Apparently, someone had been secretly smuggling the blue mist out of the village. But who could have done it? Only the faceless and the mother herself are supposed to have access to it. Crane reports back to the aide, tells him to meet at Jazzer's farm for a full explanation. When Crane arrives, the faceless says, Kyle, you've already figured out that the villagers don't get infected because of the mother's blue elixir. It's basically a near-sure cure for the disease. We've been working to perfect it, but we've hit a snag. I called you here to make a deal. Find us more elixir, and we'll share some with you. The mother will teach you how to use it. You can take your reward back to Heron or stay here with us. Many of our brothers are out searching for more, but we recently lost contact with 3 of them. They were supposed to check a cave. From what you saw at the crash site, it's likely someone got their hands on the elixir and was trying to flee with it. Go check the cave and see what's going on. After talking with the faceless, Crane heads to the cave they mentioned and walks right into a shocking scene. Even though their boss is long dead, the bandit goons are still up to no good. From the looks of it, the 3 missing faceless had managed to track some yellow uniformed soldiers and follow them into the cave. Sadly, while searching inside, Crane finds the bodies of 2 of the faceless. Checking the bandits' trailer and listening to their radio chatter, he learns the elixirs have been moved somewhere else and that the 3rd faceless might still be with them. Crane calls the faceless to report what happened, and they thank him for the info, saying, I'll look into this. After helping the mother's acolytes with a few more tedious chores, Crane finds out that Ezge and her friend Dara are trying to run away from the farm. Digging around, he learns they've been hiding out for a while at a man named Ozan's place. Their plan: head to Heron and escape all the traditions, family pressure, and village rules so they can live freely. Crane tracks them down near the tunnel leading to Heron and tries to talk them into going back. But they refuse, telling him about all the trouble and restrictions they've faced in village. Ezge reminds Crane, remember when I said you'd owe me one someday? That day's today. I need you to clear out the tunnel to Heron for us. After thinking it over, Crane agrees and heads in. The tunnel's crawling with volatiles, but Crane wipes them all out. Honestly, if Ezge and Dara had tried to go through here on their own, they wouldn't have lasted a minute. Once it's safe, Crane calls Ezge to let her know. A little later, she contacts him again, asking him to come back to the tunnel fast. When Crane arrives, he's met with a heartbreaking sight. Dara has turned. Apparently, on the way to the tunnel, they were attacked, and she got infected. Against his will, Crane puts Dara down and asks, I thought she was immune to the virus. Ezge replies, no, Dara wasn't part of the cult. Nobody in the village ever accepted her. After a tense back and forth about going back to the farm, Ezge refuses. No way I'm going back. After everything that's happened, going back would make it all pointless. Seeing she won't budge, Crane says, all right, but listen, this tunnel leads to the old town, Sector 0. Be careful. I'll ask my friend Troy to watch her back there. After saying goodbye, Crane returns to the farm and tells Jazzer what happened. Jazzer's devastated to hear his daughter's gone, but still thanks Crane for looking out for her. After finishing up with Jazzer's family, Crane gets a request from the same faceless he'd worked with before, this time meet a man named Attila and help him with his research. Attila's an ethnographer. When Crane meets him, he says, "The mother's worried about you, she sent me to help." The old man first asks Crane to restore power to his estate. Once that's done, Attila explains, "I'm researching the prophecy of the god of the sun. To complete it, I need you to find the monoliths in the area and describe the carvings to me." Knowing he'll need the mother's help later, Crane goes out, finds the monoliths, and completes the task. With that done, Attila calls him again with another request. "I need you to climb the highest mountain around here and locate the Temple of the Sun." After a brutal climb, Crane reaches the top and finds the temple. Attila tells him to search for a mask and bring it back. Once Crane returns with a mask, the old man says, "Let me tell you the prophecy. When the world is being consumed by a plague, when darkness swallows the earth, when humans have become monsters to one another, when humanity defiles both flesh and soul, a man will appear. By offering the ultimate sacrifice, he will be blessed by the light, and the god of the sun will inhabit his body and speak through him. His voice will bring light and healing, and in the end, he will pass through the gates of death and bring forth new life, a rebirth." Attila thanks Crane for his help and says, "Tomorrow, when my research is complete, I'll contact you." Crane leaves, comes back the next day, and instead of Attila, finds a letter. In the letter, Attila explains, "I came to Heron at the colonel's wife's request to study the sun god rituals. After arriving, and at the mother's request, I spent some time with the couple, Amir and Jasmine, and I became close like three friends. When the virus outbreak turned everything into hell, Jasmine and I were at the estate. The colonel came to take her somewhere safe, but he was infected during the trip. In those final moments, the colonel asked me to stay with him. At first, I thought he wanted me to end his suffering, but it was something else. He entrusted me with something and asked me to deliver it to his wife. Even though I suspected the colonel's death might affect the mother's judgment and how she'd use it, I still wanted to get it to her, but I never saw her again after that day. Crane, I'm close to death. Please deliver this item, or this code, to the colonel's wife. The mother, I'm sure you'll make the right call when the time comes. Forgive me for all my mistakes." After reading the letter, Crane searches the estate and finds something shocking. Attila has sacrificed himself. He believed he was the man from the prophecy, and that by dying, the sun god would inhabit him. Still, Attila had a malignant brain tumor, so he didn't have much time left anyway. Crane reports the whole grim scene to the Faceless, and at their request, delivers the mask and a book Attila had written for the mother and her followers to Jazzer. After finishing all the other missions, Crane goes after the third acolyte and the missing vials. Turns out, one sharp-eyed Faceless managed to track down the location of the bandits' camp. The persistent Faceless calls Crane and says, "After a lot of digging, we learned that those bastards moved all the supplies from the cave to the granary. Chances are our missing brother Orkin, is being held there too. This is our last shot. Go check it out and see what's going on." Crane heads to the granary as requested, and after mowing down what feels like 1,000 of the boss's goons, he finds brother Orkin. The poor guy has been tortured to the brink of death, but in an act of pure loyalty, he never said a word. In his final moments, Orkin tells Crane, "They were looking for a cure, but they didn't know how to use it. That's why they kept asking me about the mother, but I didn't tell them anything." Orkin repeats the word lighthouse twice and then dies. Since the supplies weren't in the granary and Orkin mentioned a lighthouse, Crane figures that's where they must be. He races there and, at the top, finds Khan, the sneaky bastard behind all this. Despite seeming like a buddy early on, Khan's been nothing but trouble. The missing vials and the deaths of the mother's followers, all his doing. He teamed up with the bandit boss's crew to steal the vials from the mother's aides. After some harsh words, Crane drags Khan out onto the lighthouse balcony to get answers. Crane asks, "Where did the other group of bastards go?" Khan replies, "The damn entrance." Then, out of nowhere, one of Khan's men, in a brilliant display of stupidity, fires a rocket at the lighthouse. The blast kills Khan and most of his men, and destroys a huge portion of the vials. Crane takes out the remaining thugs, grabs the few intact vials, and races toward the dam entrance. Inside, he finds a disturbing sight, hallways littered with the torn-up bodies of Faceless and bandits alike. As he moves forward, Crane hears a voice, a familiar voice, not coming from around him, but from inside his head. It's the mother. She senses his presence and starts talking, telling him a story from her past. "I'm tired, Kyle. Tired of the endless fighting and all this death. I won't let it happen again. The children of the sun, before the outbreak, before the quarantine, they were nothing, just scraps of old tradition, faith in a long-dead world. I'm sick of carrying the title of the mother. At first, I thought it was just because I was the colonel's wife. We had a good life, a comfortable one. After the outbreak, my husband came to take me away from here, but we were trapped by the infected, and he was bitten. He died in my arms. Before the end, he handed me a cigarette case and told me to run. He never wanted me to see him suffer. After that, I left with the believers who came to rescue me. It took me a while to realize my husband never smoked. So I opened the case. Inside was a map, a key, and a note with a set of numbers. The map and key led us here. The healthy ones among us went to restore the power system, while I went with the others to look for medicine. We found a container, and those numbers were the code to open it. Inside were vials of some unknown drug. We had no idea what was in them. While we were examining them, I had a seizure, the infection. Trusting my husband's gift, I took one of the vials. When I woke up, the room was full of torn apart bodies, the very people who trusted me. Then someone restored the power, and when the lights came on, the light snapped me back to myself. It seems that after taking the drug, the mother mutated and became a sentient volatile, an emotional kind of volatile, a type whose behavior changes drastically depending on light or darkness. For example, in the light, the mother can communicate telepathically and fully maintains her consciousness. But in the dark, according to her own story, she went completely berserk, tearing apart everyone around her, basically acting like the other volatiles. That explains why the moment someone turned on the lights, her behavior flipped. The mother believes that the person in the prophecy is none other than Kyle Crane himself. She tells him, "I've been waiting for you, my dear." Hearing this, Crane responds, "I just want the drug to save my friends." The mother gets angry and snaps back. "Look at me. There is no cure. You want to turn humans into what I am." What happens when darkness comes more death? You can hide from others, but who will hide them from you? Stubborn as ever, Crane argues, "We don't have to drink the liquid. We can just use the gas." The mother grows even angrier and explains, "That doesn't change how it works. Only the timing is different. If you inhale the gas instead of drinking it, your transformation into a monster just happens slower. That's why zombies and people exposed to the blue gas don't attack each other. Their bodies are changing, and the infected see them as one of them." The army even planned a nuclear warhead. Once activated, it could wipe out the whole continent. The question is, are you ready to sacrifice thousands of lives? Here the game gives the player a choice. Follow the mother's advice and go to the nuclear warhead. Ignore her warnings and demand the vials. First ending, Crane goes with the mother to the warhead room and uses the code Attila gave him to activate it. Second ending, Crane ignores the mother's warnings and insists on getting the vials. Furious at Crane's selfishness, the mother force feeds him one of the vials. Then, in a dramatic statement about his actions, she says, "I will make you pay for all the lives that could have been saved." She throws Crane, initiating her boss fight. Before she became the mother, Jessamine, the colonel's wife, had respect from everyone, either because of her rank in the Children of the Sun or because she was married to the colonel. Either way, it didn't matter. The point is that she held authority long before the story begins. You might wonder how the colonel had access to all this. As mentioned, the colonel was the highest-ranking military officer in Harran when the virus hit, which is why he could access the nuclear warhead. But strangely, there's no explanation for how he got the drug or the blue gas, and the origin of these substances remained a mystery. Since the colonel was in the military and knew the location of those vials, it's pretty clear, whatever that drug is, it's got some kind of connection to the army. Either the whole Harran outbreak and the city's downfall happened because of the military's incompetence, or after the outbreak, the army used their tech and resources to start experimenting in hopes of finding a cure, and after a ton of trial and error, they came up with that blue liquid. Both theories are possible, but since we don't have any solid info, it's up to you which one you want to believe. With the power Crane gained from his mutation, he smashes the mother's head in. After staggering for a moment, he walks out of Harran. Now we're outside the infected zone, in what looks like a normal, or rather a safe city. But here's the problem. Crane's infected now, and it's almost sunset. You can guess the rest. He spreads the infection to the neighboring city, and from there, the entire world gets hit by this damn virus. That's basically what we see in Dying Light 2. A lot of fans, maybe even most of them, believe this is the true ending of the DLC, but the final decision is yours. I've laid out the facts. It's up to you to put the puzzle pieces together and see which version makes the most sense. Now time for the hidden ending. While exploring the waters near the city, Crane finds a military crate. Inside, there's a set of codes for activating a nuclear warhead. After that, he searches a military warehouse in the waters near the dam, finding 2 key cards. With those 3 items, he heads for the city center. Using the first card, he unlocks a military trailer. The second card powers up its systems. Then, with the codes, he activates the nuclear warhead inside. And that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel,